This is Dr. James speaking, and today's date is Friday, 26th of June 2026, and it's a very hot day today, and I'm at the Warwick University campus site, the university where I graduated back on 13th of July 1994 with my Bachelor of Science Physics degree. That's almost 32 years ago, actually. It's coming up to 32 years. Okay, I'll just take my shades off. And what do I want to say in this video? Well, I think I need to put up my final rights, if anything happens to me, in the event something happens to me, and obviously I'm not able to respond. I've got to mention this, funeral service wise, I don't want any funeral service, and obviously I need to be cremated, and I don't want any vivisection or taxidermy, so no dissections involved, and I want my body intact as possible, and I don't want my body washed when I'm or under any rituals to be performed, if I'm declared dead. I don't want any rituals taking place on my body. I need to mention that because that does happen. Sometimes they take the body and wash it or something and clean it and then prepare it for the court, for the funeral. I don't want anything like that happening. In fact, I want a simple cremation, that's it. And my ashes there could be scattered in various places. I'm thinking about where they could be scattered, but they don't have to be in the UK. They could be in Europe as well, parts of Europe, and even around England itself. If not the River Severn Trent, obviously, but I'm not too sure about that yet. But I'm keeping that option open. But if I do die and end up cremated, I don't want to be cut up or anything. No parts of my body removed, no organs removed. So I'm against organ donation. And corneas, I don't want my corneas removed either. Anything that's useful to people out there, I don't want any parts of my body taken out. Simple as that. That's my respect for my final wishes. Obviously, I can't say things like that when I'm declared dead or something, but people are vultures out there. They're like scavengers, and I've noticed that they do that. They take the permission of somebody who's related to you and who's not even in contact with you, someone who's most likely to agree with whatever they say. That's what they normally do. That's their normal procedure. They approach those individuals related to you who would go ahead with whatever they say. If they want organ donation, they'd approach one relation or somebody who would agree with that. So you might be unaware of that. So obviously you can't do anything when you're dead, when you're declared dead. So I want to make it clear in this video, I want none of my body parts to be donated to anyone. And I want my body intact as possible. And I don't want any vivisection, experimentation, taxidermy, like the stuffed dead animals. So that's got to be clear. And I can't approach any of my relations. Whether I'm an orphan kind of person, there might be still relations, distant or otherwise. I am an orphan person anyway. So there's no point getting consent from my offspring who are kind of teenagers, and one of them is in his 20s, or anyone else, even aunts, uncles, anyone who's around, if there's anyone around, and they've got no right to do that. Because my instructions are no to organ to organ donation for me, and no for any experimentation. They've got CT, that's a computer tomography. They've got other methods of indirectly getting through somebody, non-invasive, X-rays as well, ultrasound. So there are modern advances in non-invasive technology. So they really need to do any experiments or dissections, incisions, etc. So the body needs to be staying intact as possible. That's what I'm saying, and that's it. That's my final respect for my wishes. So this is my video for that. I'm gonna put this video up and let everyone know. So in case they're not sure what are my final wishes, obviously I need to be cremated, and unless you want to freeze me for 500 years like Buck Rogers and bring me back to life, obviously that's cryogenics. Obviously that's the opposite. So the bodies are normally frozen in the corpses are usually frozen for autopsies. That's pathological examinations, and then obviously I want no cutting up involved. I've told my viewers there they've got no right to do that, just to establish cause of death and things. I know it's an unusual thing to say, but I am 56, and obviously people die even younger than me. So I'm just saying, I could live up to 100 and 100 plus even. But these are my final wishes, and they've got to be respected. And I'm putting them up to let everyone know. And it's Dr. James Wondrich, that's the full name. Simply known as Dr. James, obviously on first name basis. And my date of birth is December 1969. And my star sign is Sagittarius. So I'm putting this video up. Might not be putting any more videos up, but I need to mention this because my mother died recently. I wasn't even contacted. She died tragically at the age of 81 when she was taken into a care home. And I've been told from a sibling that a cause of death was due to hypothermia, a stroke, and also they put down she had dementia. So those were three things they put down on a death certificate. And I don't know if they did anything there, if they removed any parts. I've got no knowledge of that. But I'd like to make it clear for myself because I had no control over that. In fact, I was not even involved in the funeral service itself. Distant relatives or otherwise, obviously, regardless of that, if they're dysfunctional or not. But I am an orphan guy, kind of, anyway. So I've got to make my views clear, and this is my freedom of expression to say this on video. So my body should remain as intact as possible. And finally, no vivisection, no taxidermy, and no, incisions, etc., unnecessary experimentation on me, and no body parts removed from me. That's the instruction. And my ashes, when they're cremated, they could be scattered in various parts around local area or other areas that I might put down. But I'm not too bothered about that yet. But the main points are clear there. So they've got to respect those wishes and not just consult any member of my family, a distant relation or an estranged relation. That's what they tend to do and get consent to experiment, to do vivisection, to do taxidermy, you name it. They take parts of your body just by contacting you, one of your estranged relations, who might be an enemy of yours, and just definitely going ahead with that. They couldn't care less what happens to your body. So they obviously approached those people. When my mother died, they never approached me. Obviously, they knew that I would not consent to anything like that. So I'm assuming they might have done something like that to my mother. They might have removed parts of her body because they never approached me, and I was kind of next of kin. And you do use that, obviously, like liver samples, and even sometimes, other parts of the body. And Einstein had his brain put in a jar. That's disgusting, isn't it? When Einstein died, they're saying he volunteered for the purpose of science. I don't think he would have consented to that. That's a pack of lies. I wouldn't agree to something like that. That's horrible and horrific. Having your brains in a jar, put in a jar, that's just on display in the name of science. That's disgusting. And obviously Charlie Chaplin's body was stolen, everyone knows that, because he was buried. Sean Connery wasn't, he was cremated and his ashes scattered around his native Scotland. Cary Grant also, he was cremated with his ashes scattered in the Pacific Ocean, and no funeral service as well for him. So that's what I'm looking at here, no funeral service as well. And even Jack Lord, he was cremated with his parts, ashes that is scattered in the Pacific Ocean. So those are my final wishes. I'm ending this video now. So do be clear what I said. If there's anyone watching, my views have to be recorded, and you can't get consent from my relations, because I'm not alive and do anything with my body. And obviously, I'm doing this whilst I'm alive, so obviously I've got some say there. But in the event of something happening to me, and I'm obviously maybe not able to respond, if I'm not conscious or something, anything that happens to me, those are my wishes, and that has to be respected. So no vivisection, no taxidermy, and cremation, funeral, obviously, with no funeral service taking place. I'm not into funeral services, and I don't want any relations or anyone turning up for a funeral service. So that's got to be clear, and that's the end of this message. And like I said, no experimentation and no organ transplantation. So I hope that's clear now. I'm ending this video, and today's date is 26th of June 2026, and I'm at Warwick University campus site in Coventry in the Canley area, CV4 district.